Hey friends, my name is Griffin Burke. I'm a 2017 WRX owner. I wanted to make my car faster, so I bought a bunch of shit on the internet and realized that a lot of the things that I did to my car are not actually reviewed by anyone. There's not a lot of information online about it. So I did MAPerformance's Stage 2 Plus tune using all of their parts, their top mount intercooler and charge pipe, their downpipe or J-pipe, and catback exhaust, along with their intake and their maps. And I noticed with their Stage 2 Plus tune, they do not have a lot of reviews or people talking about their experience with it or people doing it online. So I wanted to create a video in case anyone else is wondering what it's like to do that. This will not be a how-to video, just a review of the parts and my experience and what I think about the tune and how it's running and everything. All right, guys. Performance setup came in the mail in good time. The top mount intercooler had to be newly fabricated for this order, so it took like about a week and a half for the order to go out, but then it was quick in the mail, all the way from Minnesota to Cali in like 4 days or something, over a weekend actually. So MAPerformance, full catback J-pipe, top mount intercooler and charge pipe and intake, all MAPerformance. And then I grabbed a couple extra little things to help out this build. The Perrin turbo sump restrictor. This is a little kind of a little restrictor valve insert into the turbo vacuum line or some shit that I don't understand. Again, I'm a total noob, but apparently this causes some leaking onto the J-pipe in Stage 2 builds that can cause a little bit of blue smoke and issues. That was an interesting addition to the order for financial reasons. Same with this, but apparently this can come in handy. This is a Grim Speed J-pipe hardware kit in case I snap some bolts. But basically they say that you should replace the stock studs on the turbo mount because apparently they suck. All right, guys, let's talk about the sound and the driving a little bit. I'm going to start it up. We're going to go for a drive. I want to say before we actually do anything, my first impression with the tune itself and the new parts on and stuff was not the best. It gets way better, but my first impression was the intake is really fucking loud. So I was just kind of laughing at that. And then when I got the exhaust on and put the full tune on, because what I actually did was I installed the charge pipe and top mount and intake and put a Stage 1 Plus from MAPerformance tune onto it so that I could drive it to the garage where I was borrowing the lift and then finish out the Stage 2 Plus tune and exhaust install. But my first impression with that was I turned on the car. It was really loud, obviously, and the intake was really loud, and it was raining out. And I was getting a lot of like burnt oil smell and stuff like that. And the power just didn't really feel like it was there and that impressive, because before the Stage 2 I had, I've been driving with MAPerformance's Stage 1 tune, 91 octane, and it was just awesome, right? So it didn't feel like a huge jump at first. And yeah, I just was kind of like feeling down because I was like, did I just ruin my fucking car with a bunch of noise? But I woke up the next morning, I finally installed the little Perrin turbo sump restrictor valve thingy that they recommend with Stage 2 with this car, because you tend to get leaking in the turbo seals, oil leakage, because of the higher boost pressure or something going on. I don't know, I'm a noob. But yeah, I put the Perrin sump restrictor valve thingy in. That was a super easy install, very, very straightforward. And after that, it actually cleaned up. So my cob, my access port readings cleaned up. Everything seemed like it was supposed to be the way it should be. And no more burnt oil smell. And the car was fucking pulling and screaming, and I loved it. So I love this tune. It's fantastic. Let's go for a drive. Start her up. So yeah, it definitely resonates in the low RPMs right sweet spot on the freeway and stuff. That resonation goes away. The intake is very loud and you'll hear that. Let's go. Ooh. And we're gonna do some pulls too. So the ride's gonna be a little bit bumpy and shaky because my car's on a mount. My phone is on a mount, and my car does not have stock springs or suspension. I went with the Swift, I don't know what the fuck I bought. Some kind of aftermarket spring that lowered the car about an inch, and so you can hear the intake. I would not recommend, actually, because while it did actually help with cornering and stuff and body roll, that feels great, they're really stiff and bouncy, and it really fucked the ride comfort. So I'm actually going to get some coilovers very soon, hopefully, and replace that. So as you can hear, that's the cars whistling and whatever sound it makes. The car kind of finally feels like it really does. Maybe it should have maybe some aftermarket brakes and suspension in order to handle the power, or just to make the power more fun. Like, it finally feels like I can kind of overdo it into a corner or something. But these cars handle great, so it's not a big thing. The stock brakes are fine too. Power's not ridiculous, but she does pull. So we're gonna go to some back roads. It's definitely a lot faster. So if you went from, say, like what I did, stock to stage 1 tune through MAPerformance, you're gonna feel like a significant boost in power, and it's gonna feel great because the stock tune is super fucking lame. And then if you go from that to this, it's gonna seem like kind of a similar jump, basically. And I think it is. It's actually like, 20-30 horsepower on 91 octane boost for stage 1, and then another maybe 40-50 horsepower to stage 2 plus. This 91 tune is supposed to be hitting around like 310 wheel horsepower, but I don't actually know what the numbers are because it's never been on a dyno. So yeah. But honestly, guys, if you want more power out of your WRX, this is going to be the most bang for your buck. I mean, it's not a cheap setup because they make good parts, and it's a lot of parts as far as bolt-ons go. Because I did the full catback and the top mount intercooler and charger pipe, or bigger top mount. Yeah, everything on the Cobb, the access port, is reading normal, good. Everything seems very stable. It's peaking around like 21 plus PSI boost, but it holds near like 19-20 most of the time. I'm about to do another third gear pull data log to kind of just make sure everything looks okay, and all that good stuff. But here we go. Alright, so here's 2 runs with the virtual dyno. I've heard these things can actually be pretty accurate when you do them right, and I spent a lot of time studying on how to do it right. Accurate weight measurements of my car, myself, and the tire size, air temperature and pressure. Everything was pretty good. Flat runs, third gear pulls. This is actually 2 third gear pulls. One of them's kind of bumpy. I think that's just because my car was jumping up and down because of the road and the springs that I have. The other one was pretty good. These are the numbers that on a dyno jet, that MAPerformance says you should be getting on 91 octane. So I think these are fairly accurate. I don't know, it is what it is. But yeah, not bad. All right, thanks for watching, guys, or you're welcome. I don't know. I'm not actually a YouTuber. This is just for those of you who really weren't sure about the tune. It runs fucking fantastically. It's a lot of fun. I really would never go just stage 2 because that sounds boring. I wanted something over 300 or around 300 at the wheels. This hit it just right. I love driving the car. It's really brought our romance back into our relationship. I have a girlfriend too, believe it or not. Yeah, man, you should fucking do it. I mean, a lot of people say like these off-the-shelf tunes are not supposed to be permanent. I don't know. I don't know about that. Honestly, I don't imagine what would improve it when it comes to getting a Pro Tune or something. I might do an E-Tune at some point, but I don't see the point yet because everything looks good. The car's running great. It feels amazing. I don't want anything to be changed about it. If I want something faster, I'm probably just gonna buy a new car, but this will do really well for a long time. So I'm just gonna upgrade the suspension and the brakes next. And yeah, enjoy it. Thanks for watching, guys.